And we all know how important it is for kids to play sport, but would you allow it if your kid could end up getting sued?
A tennis lesson at this Gold Coast private school has ended with 13-year-old student Julia Wright Smith being sued by a classmate for a bruised eye. Her opponent alleges Julia hit 2 balls at her at once and that the injury required medical treatment.
It came out of the blue with this notice being received, so it was quite confronting and shocking.
The girl's also suing Somerset College for an undisclosed sum, claiming it didn't provide protective eyewear or adequate supervision during the lesson.
Seems a little stupid to me. I mean, kids get hurt playing sport. I wouldn't have thought that was really appropriate.
The impact of litigious parents is already being felt at schools around the country, including a number which have banned chasing games and cartwheels, fearing injuries and exorbitant payouts.
It forces up our insurances and it makes parents make a decision, do they lock their kids up at home? And we already have that, the obesity problem.
The fact is, unless you're playing lawn bowls, most sport comes with some inherent risk. So if claims like this succeed, could it be the beginning of the end of school sports?
More on this, we're joined by Brisbane lawyer Bill Potts. Bill, we're even laughing at this today, but is this type of lawsuit really a threat to school sports?
Well, it is if you think about it, because insurance costs inevitably will go up with increased litigation, and eventually you're going to see effectively a chilling on childhood, because schools, if they can't afford the insurance and can't pass it on to parents, will in fact slow down or at least decrease this type of risky activity.
Now, we're very quick to say that we don't want to go the way of the United States, but are we seeing more legal claims for small injuries like this?
Unfortunately, I think the truth of it is yes. Litigation is always a popular sport, but litigation where we see minor injuries is often a case which it just never gets to court. And the reason why it never gets to court is that insurance companies quite often settle rather than go through the expense of defending the matters.
Now, fess up, Bill. You're a lawyer. Isn't this your dream?
Well, I suspect it is, but of course the only people who win in court tend to be lawyers. But we must have a larger view, and the larger view is, of course, that society should take a good long look at itself and ask itself, do we want to play the blame game every time? There are risks, and those risks should be accepted.
I agree, Bill. I mean, it's one thing to sue the school or a sporting body or whatever. To start like suing other students, we're all going to need to take out public liability insurance before we go have a hit of tennis.
And isn't that ridiculous? The next thing you know, we'll be having school kids at swimming carnivals wearing life vests, or perhaps even people wearing helmets at football. I think it's a step too far, and I think it's something which everybody would be looking at very closely.
Bill, is there a statute of limitations on this stuff? Because in 1993, I hit my young female doubles partner on the back of the head with a serve. She was crying at the time, and she probably still has emotional damage. I mean, can she sue now?
You've destroyed her life. The answer is no, but with you, it's absolutely unlimited.
You really got to improve your shot, Dave.
Bill, always great to chat. Thanks for coming on.
Much gratitude.
The thing is, everyone thinks this is ridiculous. Everyone we've spoken to today, everyone thinks it's ridiculous to sue a school in this situation. But what has to happen is, rather than paying a settlement so it doesn't get to court, a school actually has to take it to court, because it's going to cost these stupid parents hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go there and lose because it's ridiculous, and then we have a precedent and
then we'll know
stop.
why they've lost.
I want to ask you, because your son's been playing sport all of his life. Have you ever had an incident where he's been hurt and then you thought, I want to sue
all the time.
another...
All the time. He plays soccer, and when he forgets his shin pads, he comes home black and blue. Absolutely
insane. You don't
insane.
send a note to the other parent saying you want to...
Well, can I just state the obvious thing? It's the old problem. It's the kids aren't suing. It's the parents, just like they kind of, it's madness, and I totally agree. You should just take it on, sort it out, and get it passed.
But can that young tennis player not sue me, honestly? I didn't mean it, all right?
I think you're good for it.